Hello, today we are going to discuss about interval in maths of standard 11 of chapter number 1 sets. Interval. First interval is open interval. First of all, understand in number line. Suppose here we can consider two numbers A and B, and this number is represented in number line R. Okay, now what is the meaning of open interval? So open interval, that means all the all the element between A and B, but we cannot include A and we cannot include B. Now in symbolically we can return open interval A comma B. Here open interval form is present, so we can represent it in small bracket A comma B small bracket over. Now in set Builder form we can represent it by x from x belongs to R. Here we have discussed in number line R, real number line R. So we can consider element x belongs to R and denoted by A less than x less than B set over. Here open interval form is present, so we can represent it in strictly less than means A strictly less than x strictly less than B. We can take one example. Suppose uh, here 3 and 7 number is present. Now here open interval 3 and 7 is present. So how can be represented in set builder form? So again same example means similar method. A we can consider in form of 3 and B we can consider in form of 7. So we can return here x from x belongs to R 3 less than x less than 7. But same example we can consider in natural number. Suppose open interval 3 and 7 and here consider in natural number. So which number we can return in this set? So here open interval form is present, and open interval that means all the number between 3 and 7, and here talking in natural number, so we can consider here set of 4 comma 5 comma 6. We cannot consider 3 and we cannot consider 7, all the number between 3 and 7. Okay, so open interval that means set of x from x belongs to our standard form is and A strictly less than x less than B set over. Now next interval is closed interval. Okay. Now, what is the difference between open interval and closed interval? So, in closed interval, we can represent it in box bracket. Otherwise, we can represent in large bracket. Again, we can consider two element A and B. Again, we can take real number R. Okay, now what is the difference between open interval and closed interval? So closed interval that means all the element between A and B, and also we can include set A and means element of A, and also we can include element of B. Now this closed interval represented by closed interval A comma B. Now in set builder form we can return x from, again x belongs to R, A, here close interval form is present, so we can represent it less than equality x less than equal to B set over. That means difference between open interval and close interval means here in close interval less than equality form is present. We can take one example. Suppose in number line, suppose close interval 2 to close interval 7 is present, and here we can talking about in natural number. So, in close interval, all the number between 2 and 7, as well as we can include 2 and as well as we can include 7. So, answer is set of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 we can return. Now, next interval is open close interval. In open close interval, first position is open form, so here we can return small bracket, and next position is close form, so we can return large bracket. Now here we can take one element A and B, and number line is real line, so we can represent it in interval form open interval A comma close interval B. So open close interval A comma B. Now in set builder form we can return x from x belongs to R, x belongs to R comma A less than x less than equal to B, because here in open form here small bracket is present, so here we can represent as strictly less than, and here close interval form is present, so here we can include a less than, return less than equal to form. Now again we can take one example. Suppose in number line n, here we can consider 3 and in close form 8. So which number we can return here? So all the number between 3 and 8, but here 8 is close than equal to form is present, so we can also include 8, but here 3 is open interval form, so we cannot include 3. So answer is set of 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 8 set over. Now next interval is closed open interval. Fourth interval closed open interval. So now in this interval, first position is close position and second position is open position, so we can return close open A comma B. Number line is line is real line form. Now we can return in close open A comma B, and in set Wheeler form we can return x from x belongs to R. A here in position of A close form is present, so A less than equal to x, and here B is open form is present, so we can return strictly less than B. Now again we can take one example. Again we can take example in number line n. So 2 close interval 2 and open interval 4. So answer is set of here position of 2 is close form is present, so we can consider 2, and here 4 is present in open form, so we cannot consider 4. So answer is set of 2 comma set of 3. Okay, now discuss some example. write the following as interval. So here just only mention the interval. In our question set Bueller form is present and just mention in interval form. So set of x from x belongs to R minus 4 less than x less than equal to 6. So just here represent in interval form. So here open form is present and here close less than equality is form is present. That means here strictly less than form and here less than equality is present. So our interval is open close interval. So we can return open close interval minus 4 comma 6. Second question, set of x from x belongs to R minus 12 less than x less than minus 10. So in both these side strictly less than form is present, so we can represent it in open interval minus 12 to minus 10. Next third interval. So set of means third question, set of x from x belongs to R 0 less than equal to x less than 7. So here in one side less than equality form is present and in another side strictly less than form is present. So we can represent it close interval 0 to open interval 7. Now our next question, said in our next question set Bueller form is present. In next question set Bueller form is present. So we can interval form is given and represent in set Bueller form. So our question is write the following interval in set Bueller form. First question, open interval minus 3 comma 0. Now how can be represented in set Bueller form? So therefore set of x from x belongs to R minus 3 less than x less than 0. Here open interval form is present, so here we can mention strictly less than form in both side. So minus 3 less than x less than 0. Second one, close interval 6 comma 12. So set of x from x belongs to R. Now in this question no any condition is present that this written in natural number or any integer form, so we can consider in real number. Here no any mention in form, so we can consider real form. So x from x belongs to R 6 less than equal to x less than equal to 12. Now next one, open close 6 comma 12. So set of x from x belongs to R 6 less than x less than equal to 12. Set over. Here open and here close form is present, so we can return here strictly less than form, and here in 12 close interval form is present, so we can return less than equal to form. Now last one, close interval minus 23 open interval 5. So set of x from x belongs to R. Now in 23 here close interval form is present, so we can return here minus 23 less than equal to x, and 5 is present is here small bracket, so we can return strictly less than 5. Set over.